So welcome back to Wingfield Edge, where our structure becomes your strategy. This is episode 2, where you're going to learn a little bit more about how we perceive investor trust and how that's built.
John, do you want to share a little bit about our first episode as like a recap?
Okay, yeah, where we talked about why did we build Wingfield Financial, how it's built, and why that matters to the investors.
And then today, we're going to talk about the investor trust. So when you work with us, when you're a partner with us and you invest in Wingfield Financial, the trust and the communication that we provide. So for investors, they should never have to wonder what is going on with their capital. They shouldn't wonder, what are we doing? There's no communication. They should feel that consistency and that one-on-one contact. So John, when someone invests in a private fund, what do you think they are really trusting in the firm to do for them?
Trusting in a lot of ways. They're not just trusting their capital, they're also trusting the decision making, and they're also looking at the judgment of the people that are in those positions, how they operate, and what drives them, and the consistency with which they operate within.
And then so from an operations standpoint, I can answer on that a little bit. Okay. That's kind of my avenue.
Great.
So for operations, we want clear communication, and we do that via a phone call, a virtual meeting. We like to be consistent with emails. We want the investor to feel that they can access us directly, and whatever communication preference works for them. I know that's something that was really important to both of us when we opened Wingfield, is that the investors would feel connected to us and have that consistency.
Isn't that part of what we're looking at? It's not just private, it's personal.
Yeah.
Right? And the privacy just says, hey, it's anonymous. You can tell people you're involved with this if you want. You can keep it on the side. You don't even have to, share that with other people. But personal in the sense that they have access, they have information, and they can have a relationship. Because trust is built not just on a fundraise, it's built over time with relationship, connection, communication that you're in charge of and do a great job at. And the customers appreciate that. So they can build that trust and enhance the trust they first put in us by the fact that we reveal everything that we do, we'll answer any questions, and if they ever want to know what's going on financially, we are more than happy to share that with them, because they are directly connected, have full access, full transparency, and you make sure they have regular communication.
And they shouldn't feel like they're chasing the firm to get answers.
Right.
And so we keep all the documents organized. I think that's something else that we really decided, is that we want the organization there and no confusion where to find the information.
Absolutely.
So can you walk us through what happens after an investor commits capital with Wingfield?
Okay, great. Yeah. So what we do is, first of all, we do what we told them we would do in the beginning. In other words, their investment is not blind. We gave them some description as to what we do with the money, and then we do follow through on that. In addition, we treat that money as if it was our own investment. One, because we have our own investment in here, not just of money, but all of our time, our resources, all of our professional effort, and is fully focused on Wingfield Financial and all the assets of the company. So we treat it like it's our own money, and we deploy it like we'd explain to them that we would. Meaning it goes into businesses that are growing, expanding, producing, making revenue, making a difference in the community, and making profits that we use to pay their returns.
Yeah. And then before we opened Wingfield Fund 2, there was a few points that we had talked about internally, was that we wanted to have one way to establish better communication and consistency was the monthly updates, that new internal newsletter that we established. And so I do feel that has been helpful with our investors to be able to provide them updates of what's going on in the market, updates internally with Wingfield. If new members join, we are able to share that with them, what's happening with their capital, what's happening in the assets.
There's one other place we do that, and that's on our portal, where we also share all their results, all their gains, their tax forms, any document they signed, and as you hinted there, in addition to everything that's from the past or present, we also share offerings of new opportunities. We've had a few people reinvest or double down on their investments with us so far, which gives us such a great vote of confidence and and assurance that we're all in this together and they appreciate what we're doing. And so we share new offerings and new opportunities in addition to the productivity of what their investments are already doing.
And we ensured that this portal provided everything. So we did a lot of research in different portals, and we felt that this particular investor portal was going to provide that, especially before this public raise. So being a private raise, we started with a portal from the beginning,
Yep.
but we just made sure that it was ready for Fund 2 with that
Upgraded it,
public
yeah.
raise,
Right.
ensuring that communication, consistency, and organization was there.
As well as security, right? We wanted to make sure it was secure. So we found a great tool with all those features in it.
And
the
how do you
investors
think
like it.
that fit? That's my next question. How do you think that fits with the investor, and how does that make the investor feel with that investor
Yeah.
portal? And
It's hard for me to guess their feelings, but what I would say is it varies a lot, as you know. We have some people who hardly ever view it, and we have other people that are in it monthly, and they see anything deviate, they call us and say, hey, what about this or that? So it depends on the person. We just put it out there because we don't require any particular action by people. This is a dynamic relationship-based connection that we have, so we're not dictating to them. Instead, we're offering these various features and various access points for them to use at will. But if they ever need us, they can get a hold of us, as you said, by phone, text, email, or a virtual call. Even an in-person meeting if they're local enough, or they want us to fly to them, we could do that. And then finally, they have the secure portal, as well as the monthly newsletters and updates, as you mentioned. So we try to keep everybody equipped. I believe, based on what I can tell so far, that they're all appreciative of the things that we have. They just use them to various degrees. As you mentioned, they have all their own preferences.
yeah, and a couple things in the monthly newsletters. Like I said, what should investors expect? On a monthly update, they should, and like I shared earlier, they should expect what's going on inside Wingfield and what updates are happening. So we like to share specifics about each of the companies in that newsletter. So
Great.
sometimes we're highlighting the Momentum Mortgage company and what's going on there. Oh, we're licensed in 2 more states, and how we're broadening our horizon and becoming a nationwide mortgage brokerage. So John, as the founder, did you pause it? Are you pausing it? By the way, all these questions were for you to ask me. So I'm changing them. Corrie, how do you think this?
Oh, I didn't know.
Corrie, so I'm changing them.
So Corrie, you often think about the operational side of the business, obviously. And how do those operations affect investor confidence?
I think the investor feels that they have that backbone and the structures in place, and they feel that there is consistency, there's organization, and that provides the trust that they need, that everything is in place, the documents are where they need them when they need them. So when tax time comes, the documents are there and available and accessible in the portal and downloadable. I feel that communication on the operations side is what also really, like we talked about earlier, helps build that trust, that we are there to answer questions, we are going to be available, they're not left in the dark. And so all of those different operational structures in place will bring that confidence to the investor so that they feel that there's the structure behind them.
Absolutely.
And then you, John, I have one final question for you.
Okay.
So what should an investor feel after they experience Wingfield's communication process? What do we want to leave them feeling?
Well, for us, investor trust is not just at the beginning of the opportunity or just about the opportunity. It also comes from the fact that we care about access, openness, communication, and discipline. We act, as we said, in accordance with what we promised and committed. We stay open, we stay available, and we have a relationship that builds over time to varying degrees with each investor based on their desire to be involved. And that trust then is built, established, expanded upon by the fact that they have access at any point they want. They have all the information that they need. They're tracking on the results that they were promised and hoped for. And then if they ever have any questions, they can access it by a portal or through us. Those are tools. So I think overall, the fact that we are open, trustworthy, dependable, and available is why trust builds better.
Thank you for tuning in on episode 2, and we look forward to sharing episode 3 with you soon. Be sure to subscribe to our channel.